As we grow older, our lives naturally begin to change in many ways. The days may grow quieter, friends may move away or pass on, and the once busy household may feel still and empty. For many seniors, this transition brings with it an unexpected companion: loneliness. Loneliness is more than just being alone. It's the feeling of being disconnected from family, from community, and even from the life one once knew. Sadly, this quiet struggle is common among older adults, especially as they enter retirement, lose loved ones, or face challenges related to health and mobility. In the United States, millions of seniors experience some level of social isolation. While some learn to adapt and find new ways to stay engaged, others may feel overwhelmed, invisible, or forgotten. Over time, these feelings can impact not only emotional well-being, but also physical health. Loneliness has been linked to depression, cognitive decline, and even an increased risk of chronic illnesses. But there is hope. Just as loneliness can take root slowly, connection and joy can be gently cultivated through conversation, companionship, community, and care. By understanding the causes and consequences of loneliness in older adults, we can also uncover practical, compassionate solutions. Whether you are an older adult yourself, a caregiver, or a family member, your attention, kindness, and presence can make a world of difference. This article aims to explore the quiet sorrow that many seniors feel, and, more importantly, how to help ease it. Together, we'll look at the emotional, social, and family-related factors that shape an aging person's sense of connection and discover ways to bring warmth, meaning, and joy back into their lives. 1. When the world grows quiet, the hidden roots and risks of loneliness in old age. It often begins quietly. A familiar face disappears from the morning walk. A weekly phone call becomes less frequent. The voices that once filled the kitchen, the backyard, the living room, those of friends, coworkers, neighbors, fade into the background until one day the house feels too quiet. For many older adults, this is how loneliness seeps in, not with a dramatic event, but with the subtle, steady erosion of connection over time. As people age, life around them continues to move forward, but not always in ways that feel inclusive or affirming. Retirement, once seen as a well-earned break from years of hard work, often removes a person from daily routines, social interactions, and a sense of purpose. Colleagues who used to chat over coffee vanish from their daily lives. Friends relocate to be near family or move into care facilities. Loved ones pass away. Without these anchors, older adults frequently find themselves navigating their days with fewer companions than before. A study published in 2019 brought this quiet crisis into sharp focus. It revealed that many seniors reported a deep sense of social isolation, not merely the lack of people, but the absence of meaningful interaction with others. This isolation isn't always visible to outsiders. Seniors may exchange polite greetings with a passerby or chat briefly with a cashier, but what's missing is emotional closeness, the kind of connection that makes someone feel seen and heard. Health, too, plays a role in this isolation. As bodies grow older, they often grow more fragile. Mobility becomes limited. Even a trip to the store may feel overwhelming. Chronic pain, hearing loss, or declining vision make communication harder and going out less appealing. Bit by bit, these barriers add up, keeping seniors inside and disconnected from the world they once engaged in so freely. There's also the emotional dimension of invisibility. In some families, elderly parents or grandparents report feeling like their opinions no longer matter. Decisions are made for them, not with them. They sense their voices have grown fainter in the chorus of the modern family. This perceived loss of agency contributes to a quiet resignation, deepening the feeling of being left behind. All of these factors, whether rooted in physical changes, emotional loss, or shifting family dynamics, converge into a profound emotional weight that many seniors carry in silence. It's a weight that doesn't just dampen the spirit, it takes a toll on the body as well. Loneliness, as it turns out, is far more dangerous than we once believed. According to research from the National Institute on Aging, social isolation is linked to a significantly higher risk of premature death. The numbers are startling, comparable to the risks posed by smoking, obesity, and a sedentary lifestyle. It isn't just about sadness, it's about survival. In 2007, a pivotal study added even more urgency to this issue. It found that loneliness increased the risk of developing dementia by nearly 50%, particularly Alzheimer's disease. The implications are profound. A person may be physically present but mentally slipping away, and loneliness could be a silent accomplice in that decline. The emotional consequences are equally severe. Lonely seniors are more prone to depression, to the kinds of thoughts that whisper life has passed them by. Some contemplate ending their own lives. Among older adults with heart failure, loneliness has been associated with a fourfold increase in mortality. These are not just statistics, they are real lives, real people, slipping through the cracks of an inattentive society. And still, the damage doesn't stop there. In 2015, researchers decided to dig deeper, literally, to examine what was happening inside the bodies of lonely individuals. Blood samples were collected, and what they found was remarkable. Lonely seniors had elevated levels of stress hormones, particularly norepinephrine, the chemical that activates the body's fight-or-flight response. This chronic state of stress, sustained day after day, weakens the immune system, leaving the body more vulnerable to illness and infection. At UCLA, Dr. Steve Cole and his team uncovered something even more unsettling. By studying the gene expression of lonely participants, they found that key immune response genes were essentially being suppressed, while genes related to inflammation were being activated. It was as if the body, sensing isolation, prepared for danger in the absence of actual threats. In short, loneliness didn't just hurt emotionally, it reprogrammed the body to deteriorate more rapidly. This is what makes the issue so urgent. Loneliness is not just a side effect of aging, it is a public health crisis. It operates silently, invisibly, and often without outward signs, until it's too late. The challenge is not merely recognizing it, but addressing it with compassion, urgency, and care. Because when the world grows quiet around someone, the silence can become a storm inside. 2. How to stay positive and live a meaningful life in old age. The fifth, invite friends over. For many older adults, one of the simplest yet most powerful remedies to loneliness is inviting friends over. Harold, a retired high school principal from Ohio, had been feeling down ever since his wife passed away. The silence of his once bustling house became almost unbearable. Days turned into weeks, and the television became his only companion. But one Sunday afternoon, his daughter suggested he call up his old poker buddies. He hesitated, unsure if anyone would even answer, but to his surprise, they all did, eagerly. The following Friday, 4 of his friends gathered around his kitchen table. There was laughter, stories from the past, a few harmless arguments about politics and baseball, and even a shared moment of silence in memory of those no longer around. That night, Harold said he felt more alive than he had in months. These small gatherings became a routine, evolving into a cherished tradition. They didn't solve all of life's problems, but they reminded Harold and his friends that they were still very much connected to the world around them. Sharing moments like these can reignite emotional warmth and create a space for vulnerability and genuine connection. When you open your home, even in small ways, you open your heart to joy, empathy, and friendship. The second, learn to use technology. Technology can feel intimidating at first, especially if you didn't grow up using it. But for many older adults, learning to navigate smartphones, tablets, or computers has become a lifeline, not just for convenience, but for emotional connection. Take Mildred, an 81-year-old grandmother living in California. Her grandchildren live across the country, and the only way to see them regularly is through video calls. At first, she resisted learning how to use a tablet. Too many buttons, she said. But one afternoon, her granddaughter spent 2 hours walking her through it. By the end of the day, Mildred had set up a Facebook account, learned to send messages, and even joined a group for gardening enthusiasts. Now, every Sunday evening, Mildred joins a family Zoom call. She watches funny dog videos, reads articles about her favorite flowers, and shares recipes with other grandmothers online. Technology hasn't just helped her feel less alone. It's given her a sense of independence and relevance. She's part of a bigger conversation again, connected to both her family and the wider world. When older adults embrace technology, it can open doors to entertainment, education, and social connection that might otherwise remain closed. It's never too late to learn, and the rewards often far exceed the initial frustration of figuring it all out. 3 is participate in local senior activities. Every town or neighborhood has its own rhythm and pulse, and for older adults, being part of that community can bring both comfort and excitement. Community centers, libraries, churches, and senior clubs offer programs that are not just about passing time, but about building relationships and discovering new joys. George, a 75-year-old widower from Minnesota, found purpose again when he joined a local choir group. He hadn't sung in decades, but he remembered his mother's lullabies and church hymns. One Thursday morning, he walked into the community center and signed up. Within weeks, he had a group of new friends, people who shared his love for music and understood the quiet grief that came with aging. They rehearsed together, shared meals after practice, and supported each other through health scares and family troubles. What started as a hobby became a lifeline. These activities offer more than just amusement. They offer structure, anticipation, and belonging. Whether it's gardening, painting, or attending Bible study, these shared interests become the seeds of companionship and self-worth. 4 is pursue new interests and lifelong learning. There's something deeply inspiring about someone who refuses to stop learning, no matter their age. Lifelong learning isn't just for the young, it's a mindset, a way of staying curious about the world and about oneself. Florence, who turned 82 last summer, recently began learning Italian. "I've always wanted to visit Rome," she laughed. "Even if I don't get there, I want to be able to understand the opera." Florence signed up for an online course tailored to older learners. Each week, she logged in to learn grammar, practice vocabulary, and join virtual discussions with fellow students from all over the country. The learning didn't just keep her mind sharp, it gave her a new sense of excitement every morning. And it didn't stop there. Her Italian lessons led her to explore cooking classes, where she learned to make fresh pasta and tiramisu. 5 is join brain and physical games for seniors. Games may seem trivial, but for older adults they can be a powerful tool for social engagement and mental stimulation. Chess, bridge, crosswords, Sudoku, even Wii Sports, they're more than just games. They're exercises in strategy, memory, laughter, and connection. Walter, a retired engineer, meets every Tuesday with a group of friends at a local cafe. They bring their favorite games, dominoes, Scrabble, and a trivia board, and compete with friendly banter and plenty of coffee. The games challenge them, keep their minds sharp, and provide a predictable yet exciting event each week. Meanwhile, a group of ladies in the same neighborhood formed a walking club, which they humorously named the Silver Striders. They meet in the mornings, stretch, and walk together through a nearby park. The physical activity boosts their cardiovascular health, but what really keeps them coming back is the laughter, the gossip, and the joy of not walking alone. These types of activities, both mental and physical, create a rhythm in daily life. They offer purpose, connection, and a chance to share progress, setbacks, and triumphs with peers who truly understand. More importantly, they reinforce the idea that aging doesn't mean withdrawing from life. It means engaging with it in new, fulfilling ways. The beauty of lifelong learning is that it's driven by curiosity, not obligation. It allows older adults to reclaim parts of themselves they might have put aside while raising families or working demanding jobs. And in doing so, it helps combat the stagnation and loneliness that can creep in during retirement. 3. The family's role in supporting lonely seniors. While seniors can take many steps on their own to battle loneliness, there's something irreplaceable about the warmth and presence of family. It goes far beyond logistics or occasional check-ins. For older adults navigating the quieter, sometimes isolating stages of life, family support is often the strongest anchor they have, emotionally, socially, and spiritually. Children and grandchildren, knowingly or not, play a central role in shaping the experience of aging. Their involvement can determine whether a senior feels like a cherished member of the family or a forgotten figure at the edges of life's busy flow. The 5th, make time for regular visits. There's no substitute for physical presence. A son knocking on the door with groceries and a smile, a daughter bringing her toddler to climb onto grandma's lap, a sibling sitting quietly beside a parent during their afternoon tea. These are the quiet, healing gestures that often matter most. When adult children take the time to visit their aging parents, it does more than pass the hours. It sends an unmistakable message. You matter. You're not alone. The moments shared during these visits don't need to be grand or eventful. Sometimes, simply being in the same room, folding laundry together, watching a favorite show, or sharing old stories, is enough to dissolve the haze of solitude. Grandchildren bring a particular kind of magic with their laughter, curiosity, and open hearts. Their presence reminds older adults of where the family is headed and offers a bridge between generations. Many seniors find purpose and renewed energy just from helping out with the little ones or listening to tales of school and new adventures. Regular visits also give family members a chance to observe changes that the seniors themselves may overlook or be reluctant to mention. Subtle shifts in mood, memory, or physical movement might signal the need for medical attention or lifestyle adjustments. But more than anything, consistent visits build trust and security. They remind seniors that no matter how life changes, family ties remain strong and steady. The second, stay in touch when you can't visit. Of course, modern life doesn't always make room for frequent in-person visits. Jobs, children, distance, and obligations often pull family members in many directions. But even when we can't physically be there, we can still be present in meaningful ways. In those moments when visiting isn't possible, the next best thing is maintaining a regular line of communication. A phone call on a quiet afternoon or a video chat just before dinner can have a surprising impact on an elderly loved one's day. It's not about filling every silence or keeping up constant contact. What matters is consistency and sincerity. A quick check-in to ask how their morning went, a shared laugh over a childhood memory, or even hearing a familiar voice say, "I love you," can ease loneliness in ways that go beyond words. For many seniors, hearing from their children or grandchildren is the highlight of their week. And for those who struggle with hearing loss or discomfort with modern technology, a handwritten letter or photo in the mail can feel like a gift from the heart. The important thing is the effort, the reminder that they are being thought of and remembered, no matter the distance. 3 is encourage seniors to talk about their thoughts, experiences, and feelings. Older adults often carry a lifetime of stories, emotions, and memories just beneath the surface, waiting for someone to listen. One of the most loving things a family member can do is to simply open a door for conversation. Not just casual talk, but real, meaningful sharing. Ask about their youth, about the people they loved, the homes they lived in, the challenges they overcame. Listen not with the intent to respond, but with the intent to understand. Sometimes they might talk about regrets or grief. Other times they'll glow as they remember moments of joy and triumph. It's in these conversations that healing happens, when someone feels seen, valued, and respected for who they've been and who they are. Many seniors hesitate to open up, afraid of becoming a burden or being misunderstood. That's why it's crucial to create space for honest dialogue without judgment. Let them know their words have weight. The validation of their feelings, especially when spoken aloud and acknowledged with compassion, can ease years of unspoken sorrow and help mend old wounds. 4 is encourage pet companionship. Loneliness often lingers even in the quietest of homes, echoing through the empty rooms and long evenings. For some seniors, the companionship of a pet brings exactly the kind of comfort they crave. A dog that wags its tail every morning, a cat that curls up at their feet, even a bird that sings softly from its cage, these creatures offer more than company. They bring routine, warmth, and unconditional affection. Encouraging an elderly loved one to consider a pet should always begin with thoughtful conversation. Can they manage the physical demands? Is their living situation pet-friendly? Would they prefer a low-maintenance animal? If a dog feels like too much responsibility, a cat or even a pair of goldfish may be a better match. Some seniors may not be up to owning a pet full-time. And that's okay. Regular visits with therapy animals or pet sitting a friend's animal for short periods can still bring joy and variety into their lives. Having a living being rely on them can restore a sense of purpose. Feeding, grooming, talking to the animal, it becomes part of their daily rhythm, gently replacing some of the emptiness left by absent human interactions. The 5th, offer emotional support and a listening ear. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is not to offer solutions, but simply to be present. Sit with them in silence if that's what they need. Offer a hand to hold, a shoulder to lean on, a gentle word of comfort. In a world that often moves too fast, slowing down for a loved one shows them they still matter. Loneliness has a way of encouraging silence, pushing people inward where sadness can fester unspoken. That's why a loving family must be proactive. Not forceful, but gently encouraging. Ask how they're feeling, and if they hesitate, ask again with kindness. Let them know it's okay to share what's on their mind, whether it's about fears of aging, memories of lost loved ones, or simply missing the sound of a friendly voice. Empathy is not about having all the answers. It's about presence. It's about showing up with open arms and an open heart. About offering yourself as a witness to their story and a source of comfort as they navigate the uncertainties of aging. The sixth, seek professional help when needed. There are moments when love and patience from family are not enough. Grief, especially after the loss of a spouse or close companion, can overwhelm even the most resilient senior. Depression, anxiety, or cognitive decline might seep into their daily lives in ways that aren't immediately visible. In these cases, seeking professional help is not a failure of the family. It's an act of love. Encourage your loved one to speak with a therapist, counselor, or physician if you notice signs of persistent sadness, disinterest in daily activities, sleep problems, or a loss of appetite. You might suggest a visit to a geriatric specialist or a clinic that provides mental health support tailored for seniors. In some cases, medication or physical therapy might be recommended to address underlying medical concerns contributing to emotional distress. Whatever the intervention, what matters most is the family's willingness to act, to advocate, and to support their loved one through the process. Aging doesn't have to be a lonely journey. With the caring involvement of family, even the quietest days can feel full of meaning and connection. Seniors need more than just care. They need to feel seen, respected, and deeply loved. And it is within the embrace of family that these needs are most beautifully met. 4. What seniors should watch for when living alone. Living alone in old age can offer freedom, peace, and a cherished sense of independence. But it also requires careful attention to a few important aspects of daily life. If you or someone you love is navigating this chapter, here are some gentle reminders to help make the experience safer, healthier, and more secure. First, please take a moment to look around your home. Is the floor clear and safe to walk across, especially at night? Bathrooms, stairs, and dim hallways can become risky without proper lighting or support. Installing a grab bar near the shower, laying down non-slip mats, or simply tidying up the walking paths can make a big difference. Keep emergency contacts posted somewhere visible, just in case. And if tasks like grooming or housekeeping start to feel overwhelming, it's okay to ask for help. You deserve comfort and safety in your own space. Second, don't forget to check your fridge and pantry every so often. It's easy to fall into the habit of keeping old canned goods or forgetting what's expired. Try to keep a few fresh fruits, leafy greens, or whole grains on hand, just enough to add variety and nutrition to your meals. If cooking for one feels like too much trouble, consider preparing simple dishes ahead of time or asking family to share leftovers. Eating well isn't just about health, it's about treating yourself with care. Next, let's talk about your medications. It can be tough to remember every pill and every schedule. If you've ever wondered whether you already took a dose, or if you find yourself skipping now and then, setting up a pillbox organizer or a daily alarm can help. You can even ask your pharmacist or doctor to review your medications with you. Staying on track with prescriptions is one of the easiest ways to avoid unnecessary health issues. Lastly, be cautious with money matters. Seniors are often targets of scams, some that sound very convincing. If you ever receive a strange phone call or email asking for money or personal information, take a pause. Don't respond right away. Talk it over with someone you trust. It's also a good idea to set up automatic payments for bills, or ask a family member to help review statements with you every so often. You've worked hard your whole life. You've earned the right to live safely and comfortably. And that starts with watching out for the little things. Loneliness in old age is a widespread yet often hidden issue. But it doesn't have to be a life sentence. Through family support, community involvement, and personal growth, seniors can rediscover joy, connection, and purpose in their lives. Everyone deserves to feel seen, heard, and loved, especially those who've spent a lifetime giving love to others. By recognizing the signs, staying engaged, and supporting one another, we can ensure that our golden years are truly golden, for ourselves and for the people we cherish most.